Let's talk about 29 times that Sasuke Uchiha very nearly died in the Naruto series. And let's do it in chronological order to make things neat, shall we? Starting off with number 1. When Sasuke was just a kid, 7 years old, the Uchiha clan was planning a coup to overtake the Leaf Village, which was going to be very dangerous for everybody living in the Leaf Village, essentially. And because of that, the Leaf Village wanted to stop the Uchiha clan by any means necessary. Now first, the third Hokage tried to negotiate with the Uchihas, and Shisui and Itachi tried to convince the Uchiha clan that going with the coup was not the right idea because they would just cause a civil war that would ensue and kill a lot of people. But unfortunately, the Uchiha clan was bent on this revenge plot against the Leaf Village and the coup, so Itachi was given a choice: side with the clan and join their efforts in the civil war, or side with the Leaf Village and destroy the entire clan so that there's no war and less deaths. Now, everybody knows Itachi sided with the Leaf Village and slaughtered the Uchiha clan massacre, one of the most iconic pieces of lore in the Naruto series. But one of the main reasons as to why Itachi did side with the Leaf Village was because of Sasuke Uchiha, his little brother, that would probably be killed in the civil war or by the plot of assassination of the Uchiha clan if it was executed by anybody other than Itachi. So Sasuke could have easily died back in the day when he was just a kid and was saved by Itachi, ironically by him killing his entire family in front of Sasuke, which is really messed up, but it saved Sasuke's life in a twisted way. Number 2, in the Land of Waves arc when Naruto and Sasuke were fighting against Haku, Haku unleashes a needle barrage at Naruto, and Sasuke just steps in front of Naruto and takes the needles on the neck, all over his body. It was messed up, and Sasuke collapses. Naruto himself thinks Sasuke just died in front of him, that's why he goes ballistic with the chakra of the Nine Tails. And yeah, Sasuke could have died very easily in that situation. It was just because Haku was a gentle guy and he didn't want to kill Sasuke that he survived, because Haku didn't aim for vital spots. And needles are also not the most dangerous weapon. They are not as deadly as kunai or shuriken, for example. So Haku could actually aim for body parts that look very lethal but not kill the target, and that's the reason why Sasuke survives the needles, but still, it was very close to death. Sasuke was messed up after that. Number 3, in the Forest of Death, after Sasuke fights Orochimaru in a mock fight. I mean, obviously Orochimaru wasn't going all out against Sasuke because Sasuke was a genin, Orochimaru was Kage level, so he was just testing Sasuke out and sparring with him essentially. A little bit of a violent sparring, but sparring nevertheless. However, at the end of the fight, Orochimaru bestows the curse mark upon Sasuke. And you may say, well, that's actually a good thing for Sasuke because the curse mark provides a lot of power, but the curse mark is a double-edged sword. First, because yeah, it can paralyze you if you run out of chakra, and if you don't know how to use it, it can consume your body, but Orochimaru tells Anko, when they have the little scuffle in the forest, that there's a 1 in 10 chance that Sasuke will survive the curse mark. So 90% of a chance of him dying, that's pretty damn insane. And yes, we know Anko survived the curse mark, and we also know a lot of characters that survived the curse mark. The Sound 4, Kimimaro. And in Naruto Shippuden, we basically see an entire army of people using the second stage of the curse mark. So imagine how many people Orochimaru killed by implanting the curse mark if there are so many alive. But still, 1 in 10 chance to survive is pretty damn low for Sasuke here, and he was very close to death many times because of the curse mark, so that's very dangerous. Obviously, he never died because he had the Kekkei Genkai of the Uchiha and was a powerful ninja, but it was dangerous nonetheless. Number 4, when Sasuke is fighting Gaara in the forest, and then one of the coolest shots in the entire series happens when Sasuke's Chidori starts to run out because he goes for the third Chidori in the day, and then you don't know what happened after the clash, and then you see Gaara's sand unraveling and Sasuke's curse mark wrapping around him, his Chidori activated because of the chakra of the curse mark. It's one of the coolest scenes in Naruto. Sasuke collapses soon after because he is literally drained completely out of chakra, and the curse mark overtakes his body. He couldn't even move anymore, he was paralyzed. Gaara is absolutely pissed for Sasuke having hurt him twice in the same day, which was never done before his entire life, and he goes to, kill Sasuke. However, Naruto arrives in the nick of time and kicks Gaara away, saving Sasuke's life. Number 5, a very similar thing happens soon thereafter when Gaara still wants to kill Sasuke, who's paralyzed by the curse mark, and this time it's Sakura who gets in front of Sasuke and protects him. Now, Sakura doesn't do anything like kicking Gaara, for example, like Naruto did. She just stands in front of Sasuke holding a kunai and doing everything she can to protect him. And yes, she wasn't gonna do much, but her mere presence there protecting Sasuke made Gaara remember Yashimaru, his uncle who he killed before and was one of the people that protected other people from Gaara when he was a little kid. And that made Gaara waver a little bit, and he didn't kill Sasuke because of that. Sure, he definitely bodied Sakura in that moment and stick her to a tree, but she saved Sasuke's life, which was in jeopardy there. Number 6. In hindsight, we all know Itachi never meant to kill Sasuke. He was working for his brother the entire time, always wanting to save his life. But there's a moment in the series that Itachi kinda goes beyond, and I would even say he pushed his own luck there, when Itachi and Sasuke finally met again after the Uchiha clan massacre in that hotel room, and Sasuke was absolutely pissed at Itachi for killing everybody. He wanted to kill him, he aimed a Chidori at Itachi, it didn't work. Itachi wanted to teach Sasuke a lesson, just so he never really rushes an S-class fugitive shinobi again, recklessly like he just did. And also he wanted to push Sasuke's powers and develop his Sharingan through hatred and all that stuff. You know, the Uchiha clan and hatred, they come hand in hand. So, Itachi puts Sasuke under Tsukiyomi, and he makes Sasuke watch his parents dying for 24 hours. Thousands upon thousands of times of Sasuke just watching his parents dying. And that could have easily killed Sasuke. I mean, it's absolute psychological torture, and we see that Tsukiyomi has physical effects on the target, even though it's an illusion. Kakashi got taken out of the fight by Tsukiyomi, and the same thing happened to Sasuke. As a matter of fact, Sasuke went into a coma, and if Naruto and Jiraiya hadn't brought Tsunade back to the Leaf Village, I don't know if Sasuke would have waken up, because she was the only person who seemed capable of healing somebody out of the effects of Tsukiyomi. So what were you thinking, Itachi? I thought you were Sasuke's, protector. Maybe just use a regular genjutsu and make him watch it once or twice, but 500,000 times seems a little bit excessive. Number 7. In the Sasuke retrieval arc, Sasuke has to eat that weird-looking pill so that he can eventually evolve his curse mark into the second stage and control it better. Sakon gives the pill to Sasuke and says he has to quote-unquote die so that he can master the curse mark. And he explains that if Sasuke is not taken care of, he would die because of the effects of the pill, because the curse mark would take over his body. But because the Sound 4 are very specialized ninjas, they can encase Sasuke into that weird-looking gourd and put him in hibernation so that the curse mark doesn't overtake his body completely and he doesn't die. And yes, he is alive and well after he leaves the gourd, but that was a risk Sasuke took. He was kind of apprehensive. He was like, I can't die here, but this guy's telling me that eating this pill will give me more powers, so I don't know what to do, but he eventually eats the pill and survives, which is good. Number 8 is going to be in the fight between Naruto and Sasuke, the first one in the Valley of the End. After Sasuke pierces Naruto with his Chidori, Naruto taps into the Nine Tails' powers, and Sasuke wasn't really ready for that. The amp the chakra gave to Naruto was massive, and Naruto started to land blows after blows on Sasuke, kicking him around, punching him under the water, and Sasuke was just taking some severe damage. His 2 Tomoe Sharingan couldn't keep up with it, and it's only when he awakens the 3rd Tomoe that he starts to counterattack properly, because Naruto was just too fast. If Sasuke hadn't really awakened the 3rd Tomoe, it's likely that Naruto would have killed Sasuke there, or maybe break every single bone in his body and bring him back to the Leaf Village, just like Naruto said he would. Number 9 is going to be when Naruto uses the first tail of the Nine Tails' cloak after Sasuke adapts his 3rd Tomoe Sharingan to his patterns of attack. And once more, Sasuke starts to get absolutely destroyed by Naruto, because now the chakra and Naruto had 2 different ideas of what to do, and the Sharingan couldn't track it, almost as though the Nine Tails' chakra had a will of its own, which is kinda true in a sense. Naruto Naruto was using those massive chakra limbs to punch Sasuke, grapple him, toss him around, and Sasuke was struggling a lot against Naruto in that situation. I'm not gonna lie, he could have easily died there. If not for him evolving his curse mark to the second stage, he would have certainly lost the fight, perhaps dying in the process. Number 10. In Naruto Shippuden, when Sasuke fights against Deidara, Deidara uses his C4 Karura, the nano-explosives he made specifically to kill Itachi Uchiha, Sasuke's brother, but he decides to use it against Sasuke because Sasuke is a formidable threat. Now, these explosives are extremely dangerous and almost impossible to counter unless you can see chakra and you have lightning style. Fortunately for Sasuke, he has both of those things, so he could shove a Raikage into himself. Obviously, he didn't pierce his body with a Raikage, but he just passed a current through his body, which made him really weak, and diffused the nano-explosives so that he wouldn't be disintegrated by them. And then he put a genjutsu on Deidara to make him think that C4 worked, and Deidara watched Sasuke being disintegrated 2 times before realizing, oh no, I was under a genjutsu, he got me. Number 11, in the same fight, Deidara uses his magnum opus against Sasuke, trying to kill him by any means necessary, even though he has to sacrifice his life for it. With a C0 explosion, where Deidara literally explodes himself from within, creating a blast that rivals the 10 Tails Bijudama. Fortunately for Sasuke, he was fast enough to summon Manda, put her under a genjutsu, and reverse summon himself before the explosion completely engulfed him. Yes, Manda died in the process because the snake had to tank some of the explosion before Sasuke was able to reverse summon himself out of there, but Sasuke survived, which is really good because, well, he didn't die. Number 12, and this is going to be another one of those moments where Itachi kind of pushed his luck with the amount of abuse he dished on Sasuke, because in the fight between Itachi and Sasuke, their final confrontation, Itachi launches a Matarasu on Sasuke. Now, first Itachi used the dark flames to extinguish Sasuke's own fire, which is a really damn nice scene, but then Itachi starts to spam Amaterasu against Sasuke. And eventually the dark flames land on Sasuke and he is downed by them. And the problem with that is that Amaterasu cannot be extinguished by regular means. It's very difficult to deal with. The dark flames will consume the targets until it's turned completely into ash, and Itachi literally hits Sasuke with those. Now, you may say Sasuke wouldn't be in danger because Itachi would be able to put off the flames, but that's not the case. Sasuke, when he gets his own Mangekyo Sharingan, is the one who can control the dark flames and put them out when he wants to, but Itachi doesn't have that type of control under them. He can just use Amaterasu and hope for the best. Now, yes, eventually Sasuke uses the Orochimaru-style substitution jutsu, the skin change, to escape Amaterasu and survive it. And that was actually part of his plan. He was goading Itachi into using Amaterasu against him so that he could use Kirin eventually, because Amaterasu would create the storm clouds that Sasuke would use to produce Kirin. And yes, Sasuke also used Fire Style in the Sky to do that, but Amaterasu helped as well. But still, what if Sasuke didn't have Orochimaru's substitution jutsu there to escape it? He would have died. Now, maybe you could say that Itachi hit Sasuke's curse mark wing, and the wing would be destroyed, but not Sasuke's entire body, and that's what Itachi was aiming for. After all, in Itachi's quote-unquote objective for the fight, he was after Sasuke's eyes to get the EMS, so destroying Sasuke's body wouldn't be effective either. But the wing is connected to Sasuke's body. I don't see why the flames wouldn't spread around entirely. Seriously, what was Itachi's plan here if Sasuke couldn't escape that? Would he cut the wing off with a kunai or something? Maybe, I suppose that could be doable. But that was a high risk because we can see how fast the Amaterasu flame spread. Sasuke defeated the A-Tails in a couple of seconds after a single Amaterasu shot. Which brings me to number 13. In the fight against Killer Bee, Sasuke does get a lot of help from his team to survive the ordeal. First, when Sasuke starts to trade sword blows with Bee, he lands several sword strikes on Sasuke, piercing several of his swords, and Sasuke is downed. Now, obviously, the swords by themselves are quite dangerous and put Sasuke's life in jeopardy there because they're piercing him all over the place. But then, after seeing Sasuke falling down, Killer Bee rushes down on Sasuke and aims a finishing blow with his sword. sword, but Suigetsu goes in and saves Sasuke by putting his sword in front of B's sword, which, you know, is pretty good because he blocked the final strike. Jugo then punches B away, and Karin ushers him out of the situation. And then Karin offers her flesh, or arm, and Sasuke bites her to heal himself from the sword wounds. Number 14, after Sasuke puts Killer B under a genjutsu, and Killer B had already used the cloak of the Eight Tails in that situation, Sasuke thinks he won the fight because B was paralyzed, but Sasuke didn't know that the Eight Tails within B could break him out of the genjutsu because they are a team, they work together, so the Eight Tails can shake B's chakra off. And in hindsight, Sasuke should have probably thought about that because he was extremely smart in the fight against Deidara, and he seems to not be very smart in the fight against B. Yes, Sasuke's IQ fluctuates a lot in the series because sometimes he can't just beat an opponent outright. And because B broke the genjutsu off by using the Eight Tails, he lands a massive lariat on Sasuke that explodes his chest, quite literally. And that scene, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty cool, especially after B lands the attack and he just raises his hand with that metal sign and says, "Whee!" Like an absolute mad lad as Sasuke flies away. Jugo has to get Sasuke in the air, and then Jugo has to transfer his own essence, or life force, or body and muscle tissue, whatever he does. He melts his own curse mark stage and his body and transfers it over into Sasuke's blown off hole in the middle of his chest, saving Sasuke's life. And he was only able to do that because Sasuke was compatible with him. He knew that because Sasuke got Jugo's curse mark and was able to use it very well. So yeah, he tried that and it worked, but Jugo became a child for doing that. He had to transfer over a lot of his body into Sasuke, and that took a toll on him. Number 15. Right after that, B uses his entire Eight Tails transformation, and is essentially about to go and wipe out Team Taka there. Things are gonna get very ugly. Suigetsu comes in with that weird-looking water avatar and starts to fight against Killer B's entire Tail Beast form, which is actually pretty insane if you think about it. And Suigetsu tanks a Tail Beast bomb from the Eight Tails point-blank range. It was pretty insane. Sasuke was in a very desperate situation there, having to face an entire Tail Beast, being extremely tired, having a chest blown off. Suigetsu was out of the fight, Karin was out of chakra, and Jugo was turned into a child, so he remembered Team 7 after seeing the efforts of Team Taka, healing him, protecting him, and that's what prompted him to use Amaterasu and win the fight by one-shotting the Eight Tails. But it was very close to dying. Number 16. In the Five Kage Summit, when Sasuke fights the Raikage. First, the Raikage lands a punch on Sasuke that almost cracks his ribcage, and even though Sasuke used an Amaterasu shield to prevent the Raikage from punching Sasuke, he didn't care. He sacrificed his own arm to punch Sasuke, and that almost broke Sasuke's neck. Sasuke fell down, and the Raikage was about to follow up with a downright kick that was probably gonna blow off Sasuke's ribcage, but Sasuke also used a massive Amaterasu shield around him, so the Raikage was gonna get engulfed by dark flames after the attack. So sure, Sasuke's life was definitely in danger in that situation, but I would say the Raikage's life was in more danger because he would essentially dive into a sea of dark flames that cannot be extinguished there. And he already lost an arm for doing so, so if he used his leg and possibly the rest of his body, then he would have died too. But nothing of that happens because Gaara arrives and uses his sand as a shield to protect both Sasuke and the Raikage from each other. Number 17. As Sasuke continued his Five Kage gauntlet, he eventually fought against Mei, the 5th Mizukage, and Sasuke was already struggling a lot with his Mangekyo Sharingan. He wasn't used to the pain it caused to him, and the Mizukage started to melt Sasuke's Susanoo with her vapor style, and Sasuke's own skin started to burn as well. Sasuke was not in a very good situation. He was running out of chakra, his Susanoo was melting, so he was saved by White Zetsu, who implanted several spores around the Five Kage room when he invaded it, and he started to drain chakra from the Five Kage and put it back on Sasuke so Sasuke could recover a little bit. Number 18. Right after that, Sasuke then faces Onoki, the third Tsuchikage, and he uses particle style to disintegrate Sasuke, essentially. And honestly, Sasuke didn't have much of a counter against that, because particle style negates pretty much any sort of defense in the Naruto series. Even in the war, Onoki was destroying Madara Susanoo with his particle style, so Sasuke Susanoo here would have no chance at all. And that's exactly what Onoki does. He uses that massive cube, engulfs Sasuke in it, and destroys him. Or does he? No, he actually doesn't, because Obito arrives and Kamui Sasuke away, saving his life. Number 19, in the Danzo vs Sasuke fight, Danzo puts a curse mark on Sasuke. Not the same one as Orochimaru, but it's a curse seal that paralyzes the target, and Sasuke was absolutely unable to do anything about it for a while. This is an extremely powerful jutsu. Danzo only has to touch the target and he puts the curse mark on it. You don't have to weave hand signs, you don't have to do anything special, just touch Sasuke and that's it. Sasuke couldn't do much, and Danzo was kind of lecturing Sasuke, was about to kill him, and that's when Sasuke's hatred emerged ever stronger and broke him free of the curse. So if he hadn't had that injection of hatred in the middle of the fight because of Danzo's speech, then he probably wouldn't have survived that. He bamfs his Susanoo out, deals some damage to Danzo, and survives the curse mark. Number 20, when Danzo knew he had already lost the fight and he was gonna die anyway, he decided to go and take Sasuke with him. So he used his ultimate sealing jutsu to bring Sasuke with him and seal him in his corpse, creating that dark orb that engulfed a large section of a samurai bridge, but Sasuke was able to avoid it. That jutsu is really cool in the Naruto games because you sacrifice yourself. If you get the opponent, you win the fight. But if you don't get the guy and you use that jutsu, you lose immediately. It's kind of funny. Number 21, after the Danzo fight, Sakura and the rest of Team 7 as well, they arrive to where Sasuke is, and Sakura actually wanted to kill Sasuke. And she had the perfect opportunity. After Sasuke and Kakashi fought for a while, Sasuke evolved his Susanoo until the armored state, but he ran out of chakra and his vision deteriorated catastrophically. He could barely see anything and he didn't have chakra to fight anymore. So Sakura was actually able to sneak up behind Sasuke, and she had her kunai right at Sasuke's back, but she was frozen. She couldn't do anything, her hands were shaking, and even though she thought she had the willpower and the guts to go and kill Sasuke because of the monster he had become, she couldn't bring herself to do it. Which, well, was a good thing for Sasuke because he survived that moment. If Sakura was more decided, she would have killed Sasuke because he was very weak at that moment. He couldn't do anything really. He didn't even notice Sakura for a while before he grabbed her neck and almost killed her back with her kunai. Number 22, in the Kabuto fight, Kabuto uses his Great White Dragon Bomb to blind and deafen Sasuke and Itachi, and then Kabuto actually goes after Sasuke while he's blinded. He wanted to get Sasuke's body, what Orochimaru wanted to do the entire series and couldn't, but Itachi protects him, putting his Susanoo around Sasuke, or rather, the hand of his Susanoo. Number 23, a similar thing happens when Kabuto uses his powers in the Sage mode to control the terrain around him and use those spikes to pierce Itachi and Sasuke. Itachi once again puts his Susanoo hand around Sasuke, saving him from the spikes, but Itachi himself gets pierced several times by the spikes all over his body, but it's alright because he's an Edo Tensei, he can regenerate. Number 24, when Obito absorbs the 10 tails in his body to become the Jinchuriki, he creates this massive vacuum because the 10 tails, his body is so massive and it's being condensed in such a small space that things begin to get sucked into Obito's own body. Sasuke and Minato were actually being sucked into Obito's body, but Naruto is able to extend his KCM limbs and saves both of them. Number 25, in the fight against Jubito, after Sasuke manages to save Naruto using his Susanoo hand to block a truth-seeking orb from hitting Naruto, Obito blitzes Naruto and Sasuke and puts his hands on both their foreheads, and then he starts to charge a truth-seeking orb to essentially destroy their bodies, exactly like he did to Hiruzen a few pages before. Luckily, Minato was able to teleport them out of there right before Obito ignites the truth-seeking orb and they extend. They were about to destroy Sasuke and Naruto's faces, and Sasuke was about to die, but Minato teleports them away because Naruto reaches out to him with his chakra and then they bamf out of there. Number 26. After Minato tries to blitz Jubito, Jubito stabilizes, breaks Minato's kunai, bisects one of his arms, and then puts a truth-seeking orb on Minato's body. He kind of glues it on Minato so that he would teleport back, and then the truth-seeking orb would explode with his allies around him, aka Naruto and Sasuke. So the truth-seeking orb starts to glow, about to explode, and Sasuke was really nearby with Naruto. And yeah, Sasuke does put a Susanoo defense to block the attack. I'm not sure how powerful a Susanoo ribcage would be against Truth-seeking Orb. It would be better than nothing for sure, but he doesn't have to do that because Tobirama sends a shadow clone in to grab the Truth-seeking Orb and teleports back to Jubito, shoves the Gurodama back on Jubito, and then Jubito explodes with it, and Sasuke doesn't die from it. Number 27. When Madara comes back to life with Rinna Tensei, he collects all tail beasts in a matter of minutes. Tobirama tries to blitz him from behind, but he is absolutely stomped by Madara off-screen, and then they start to have that philosophical debate about their past and how Tobirama has fallen and what Madara wants to do next. And Tobirama, he spits some water on Madara to try and distract him because he saw Sasuke coming from above on his eagle, or falcon, whatever. Sasuke jumps back, and he's about to get Madara from behind, but then Sasuke stops midair. He freezes midair, which is really weird. The first time you watch that or read that, you're like, wait, what just happened? Sasuke is just like motionless in the air, like he can't do anything about it. What's going on here? And then one of the most humiliating moments in the entire Naruto series, Madara grabs Sasuke's own sword and stabs his heart with it, while Sasuke couldn't do anything because he was frozen in the air. And Madara gives a very nice speech that harkens back to what Hashirama told him back in the day: I'll kill you even if you are a brother or somebody of my blood, if that's what I have to do to achieve my goal. And you can see as the sword exits through Sasuke's back, the Uchiha clan crest gets all bloodied on his shirt. It's very symbolic. And it's an extremely bad wound because he pierced Sasuke's heart. When Madara unsummons the Geromazo, Sasuke falls down into the rocks while he is almost dead. Karin even senses that Sasuke's chakra is waning out and he's about to die, and then Karin, Orochimaru, Jugo, and Suigetsu rush to Sasuke, but Karin's afraid they're not going to reach him in time, but somebody else does. Kabuto comes back after Itachi's Izanami, a reformed man, and he heals Sasuke from his mortal wound. It's as though Itachi saved Sasuke again, even after he is gone. Number 28. In the Naruto vs. Sasuke final battle in the Valley of the End, Sasuke charges his Indra's arrow using the chakra of all 9 tail beasts incorporated into his Susanoo, creating that massive lightning arrow, aiming it at Naruto, while Naruto gets charged by a massive amount of sage energy and puts all of his chakra into those 2 massive Rasen shurikens. They both launch their jutsus at each other, and when they clash, they explode the entire atmosphere, leveling the Valley of the End, causing this unheard amount of destruction before in the Naruto series. It's a good thing that explosion happened way above the ground so that it wasn't as destructive, because if it happened on the ground, then the Valley of the End would essentially just be a massive crater. And yeah, Sasuke survived that explosion with Naruto as well. I mean, they both survived it, probably using the last embers of their powers to put up a Susanoo and a Kurama avatar defense. And not only that, they also survived a fall from the stratosphere. They were flying really high up. They could see the curvature of the earth. The sky had turned black like they were in space. And they survived that fall with no powers, essentially. No chakra left. So that was pretty clutch from Sasuke. Number 29. After that, when Naruto and Sasuke have their final Chidori and Rasengan clash, they explode the rest of the Valley of the End, essentially, and they explode their arms with it. Oh yes, it's a beautiful scene when we see their bloods interconnected because their arms exploded, and it was actually Hashirama and Madara's fingers doing the unison sign instead of their own fingers because they don't have fingers anymore and they can't even move. But Naruto and Sasuke were start bleeding extremely quickly. It's not a joke, man. Those wounds are massive. 2 exploder arms are gonna kill you quickly. Fortunately, Sakura arrives and heals them up, because even Sasuke and Naruto had acknowledged that, yeah, if nothing happens here, I think we're gonna die. But they don't. Hooray! Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, a lot of people watch my videos and are not subscribed. Just do that to help me out and to get more videos from me as well. It doesn't cost you anything, it takes 2 seconds. Watch this other cool Naruto video right here from our content, and thank you so much for watching.